Sunday tea time, friends. And by that, I'm still giving it a good long window of time to try and sync. Oh, what ridiculous cat story can I tell you? Well, I can tell you that we are working on trying to figure out how to best manage the cats when they get in their arguments. And I have been using my gift of animal speak to try and do some translating of the drama that is happening between these cats because there is certainly a lot of it and it has been very stressful in our merging households. So, yeah, it has been quite the time. So, I have no idea if we've actually synced or not yet. I really wish I had a better indicator of it, but I'm just going to go ahead and start and see where we land. So, just in case you don't know me, I'm Safrianna Lughna, the Queer Spirit Guide, and today I am not bothering at all whatsoever with trying to look professional or be professional. And there's a couple reasons behind this I'll get into, but today I am live for the Visibility Challenge. We're on day 7 of 11. This is just a free socials challenge that Samia Phoenix has been doing, and I was introduced to her through Amy and Nancy Harrington, who you've seen me write about before, of the Passionistas Project. And Sami has been supporting a group of us to just show up and share and shine and bust through our fears. So if you've been following along with my journey over these past 7 days, you know that I've been going live to talk about the offers that I've been putting out in the world and the things that people can do with me or purchase from me, because I've recognized that is really my biggest visibility challenge. Hence, yesterday, Samia encouraged us to post a picture on socials that we would not normally post because it's not polished, or, we felt some type of way about it. And I did not do that yesterday because yesterday I was out with Ikenna to celebrate our 7-year anniversary, and I didn't really do socials at all. I did end up going live. I did my live about Daddy's Girl. I cried. I was like blown away by just all of that. Um, but I didn't post an unmade up picture. And I thought it would just be fun to go live in my bathrobe this morning in my Stitch PJs and show you what a morning with me looks like. So I literally have my cup of tea. I have a deck of cards. This is how I usually start my Sundays. So I just thought, why the heck not go on and riff live? Because today's challenge is to go live. And clearly I've been going live all week. So I'm combining day 6 and day 7 by going live without attempting to look the way that I think I should look beforehand and just look like me rolling out of bed on a Sunday morning, because that's what this is. So I figured I'd just reflect on this visibility challenge. I'd share a little bit about where I'm at, what I'm going through, and just kind of riff. So, hope you have a nice cup of tea or coffee to enjoy this morning or whenever you're watching this. But, it just strikes me, I've been going live for 3-4 years now. I guess my live journey really, really started in late 2022. And less live, more private workshops before that, of course, but like going live, riffing on camera, knowing I could mess up, that I could flub my words, that I'll stumble over things, that took a tremendous amount of courage and healthy self-esteem, of knowing that if I look like a fool, it's not the end of the world. I thought about this before going live this morning, and I'm like, oh no, because Substack does, YouTube Reels for me and whatnot, which is really cool. They're not always 100% accurate, but it's still really cool because I'm a one-man band. So I know that, like, I'm going to show up on YouTube in my bathrobe here, and I'm like, oh no, what if that means that my clients aren't going to take me seriously? They're not my clients then. When I think about all of the people that I've worked with really over the years, and what they say they appreciate about me. See, I flub my words. And what they appreciate about me is that I just am authentic and that I don't perform and that I'm down to earth and that I'm a real human being. And so I'm like, me being a real human being in my bathrobe isn't going to impact those people. We all know, if we really think about it, we all know that there are times when our hair is messy and we're groggy and we don't have made up faces. I almost never have a made up face, by the way. I just like to wear bright lipstick, but and there's nothing shameful or wrong in wearing those things. It's just that there is this expectation in our world right now that to show up, to put yourself out there in any way, shape, or form, you have to be perfectly polished, scripted, made up, photo ready, right? Like all of these sort of societal expectations of perfectionism that we struggle with as a collective. I was teaching my Elements of Success program. I guess this was probably about 2 months ago now, since I've been teaching the program for a few months. But I did an episode and I was talking about authenticity. And I had this really big aha moment when I was teaching that I used to really conform and like wear what I was expected to wear. And as a neurospicy person, a lot of those things that I was expected to wear weren't necessarily comfortable for me, but I still felt the, need to dress. I mean, and as a teacher, we literally didn't have a choice. We were told like this is what you wear. This is the professional attire. And we had jeans on Fridays, and I didn't like wearing jeans either because that didn't feel comfortable. Um, but I wore a lot of dresses and a lot of tight leggings under the dresses, and if not dresses, then like really formal, stuffy, uncomfortable clothes. And so I have this realization that as I was teaching that program, I was like, oh, I really got stuck in that professionalism trap that is very dominated by patriarchal society, right? That there is one right way to look and one right way to be and one right way to show up and all of that. So, yeah, me going live in my bathrobe is really just a visibility practice of reminding myself I don't ascribe to those beliefs anymore. I don't think I have to show up and look a particular way. Oh gosh, I could tell. So, another of the challenges that I haven't really specifically done was telling just a story that I've never told before. And I think I've told this very adjacently, but like never in detail. So, very few people in my world right now know a lot of my past, right? I have a little mystery to me, I guess. And I've been through a lot of evolutions, a lot of human evolutions on my journey to where I am today. And I used to be a lead moderator for an online community of about 17,000 people. And as a part of this online community, I created content, I created story content, and I also created interview style content about the purpose of the community, which was a joint video game that everybody was interested in. Video game never came out, still isn't out, but everybody was joined in wanting to play this video game, this 17,000 people. So I was the host of a show. And in fact, you can still go find these shows on YouTube. And it is wild to look back at younger Safrianna, aka Kitlandria, because that was my gaming name. But I co-hosted a show called The Boardwalk Chronicles. No, excuse me. My paper was the Boardwalk Chronicles. That was the newspaper, the Town Crier newspaper I released. The actual show was called the Boardwalk Broadcasting Company, the BBC, because our community name was Boardwalk. And I would go live. I think we did a show. I think at one point we were doing maybe a show every week, but I think we dropped down to every other week. And then eventually I left the show. But when I was the host, in the gaming world, a predominantly large number of the community members are men. And I was still very much in my codependent phase and in my people pleasing and just really feeling controlled and at the whims of patriarchy. I was still in an actively abusive relationship. And I really tried to polish and perfect myself whenever I would show up publicly, especially because my at the time abusive partner was really critical of how I looked and how I showed up. So I would wear a wig and a full face of makeup to every episode of this show, of our Boardwalk Broadcasting Company. I think there was a time where I finally stopped wearing the wig, but of course, stress can cause your hair to fall out. And at that time, I was exceedingly stressed. I was just starting to feel my body enough to know that I was probably struggling with some chronic illness or that there was something more to the stress going on because my body was really having a time. So I was really insecure about my hair, and I would wear a long brown wig. And it was just, this is the mask I put on. This is how I show up. And I have been thinking about this so much recently, this idea of masking, right? I'm a neurospicy human being. I have definitely got CPTSD, if not ADHD. It's really sometimes hard to tell with diagnoses, right? Like, is it this or is it that? And CPTSD and ADHD overlap big time. But it's like, this is how I show up in the world. And that's no fault of my own, right? This is my wiring. This is my upbringing. This is what I endured as a child, and I'm still figuring out how to make it and not mask. But I've done masking for over 30 years of my life, if not more than 30 years of my life. I mean, we might be looking more at like 35 years of my life of masking. And starting to really recognize and come to terms with how much stress that puts on the system to mask. And I know this professionally. I'm a therapist. I'm a trauma therapist. I've worked with hundreds of people, and if not thousands, and many of them are neurodivergent or neurospicy. And I can see that in other people, and I can encourage them not to mask. And it's just been really recently that I've been like, oh, I am still masking in some ways too. So all of this just riffing live today for the visibility challenge to say, like, I'm here to support people and not masking. And that means me too. That means not continuing to conform to systems, right? That means showing up and being like, I'm in my bathrobe. And if that bothers you, why? Right? And it's like that mentality, even when I was like, oh, do I go live? Are people going to take me seriously? If what I'm wearing or how my hair looks at any given point in time negates somebody's ability to receive my wisdom, my love, my compassion, my gifts, my voice, my whatever, then they're probably not for me, first of all. Like, they're probably not the person that I'm calling in my community. But they're also probably dealing with some of those patriarchal underpinnings still, that we have to be a certain way, that we have to do things a certain way. And that's just not the world that I'm here to build. Here to build a world where you get to be cozy, you get to love yourself, and you get to love your neighbor and the world around you and have just an extraordinary life. That's what I want to co-create and build for everyone in the world. It's just freedom, authenticity, harmony, peace. As the smug says, be the change. So, like I said, today was literally just a thought experiment, a riff, wondering what would happen. What happens if I go live in my bathrobe? Do I lose followers? Do I gain an audience? Does somebody take me less seriously, more seriously? I don't know. I'm here to find out. I'm curious. So I'm just asking the cards a question. Wow, I didn't even get to say it out loud, but here it is. So the question that I was going to ask was essentially, what do we need to know? Those of us who are maybe struggling with people pleasing, that are trying so hard to conform and fit in and look good and not make a mistake or not look unpolished or be imperfect. What do we need to know? I pulled Halls of Learning, Spirit Guides, Confirmation, and Great Lessons. So I love this. First of all, we are in the halls of learning here on planet Earth. We are so in the throes of just learning. And we're learning how to both be human and to tune into the fact that we are more than human, that we exist outside of just this human identity. And that's really where our spirit guides come in. Our spirit guides, our unseen team, really help support us in knowing that we have multidimensional gifts, that we are multidimensional beings, that we are more than our body. We are our soul. And it's confirmation that we get to show up as who we are and dance and shine and play in the fullness of our expression. That was something that, as I was journaling last night, came up very powerfully, is like the fullness of our expression and how important that is. And then, of course, great lessons, right? When I look back at younger Safrianna going on that live stream and feeling like she had to wear a wig all the time and she needed to put eyeliner on and mascara and do her eyebrows and put on lip and put on foundation and make sure that the outfit looks good and is, not revealing, but also showcases my style and this and like, oh my God, the gymnastics younger me went through, right? The lesson in that is I don't have to do that anymore. And I learned that that's not for me, right? So, what lessons are you learning as you learn to shine your light, as you stand in your authenticity? There's so much possibility here for you. So, I hope that you will consider your own halls of learning, what's coming through for you as you step more and more into your authentic expression, your authentic flow, your just who you came here to be, standing in the power of that. How incredible. So, bathrobe and all, if I can support you, this is normally what I'm going to look like when you're getting pocket guidance. If you work with me in Seasons of Soul, or you co-create another offer with me, because I like to co-create, but in Seasons of Soul, I give pocket guidance, which means you have me on call more, not quite 24/7. I'm going to say like 12/6. I genuinely am very responsive. I love to help support my clients. And this is what I'm looking like in the background when I'm not on Zoom calls and it's a day I'm chilling and doing my admin work and doing my thing, right? I'm probably wearing cozy PJs. I'm probably in my big fuzzy bathrobe to keep warm. And I'm probably walking around with a cup of tea because that's how I roll, my friends. So, yes, if you would ever like to explore how I can support you and what that looks like, please don't hesitate to schedule a 15-minute connection call. There's never any pressure. We can chat, we can hang out, we can just see, is there a resource I know might exist for you out there? I'm always happy to connect people with that. But if you're needing support, don't hesitate to reach out. And otherwise, know that I love you. I see you. I believe in you. And I'm cheering you on. And I'm cheering me on too. That's part of this journey. And I hope that you will see that you're allowed to cheer yourself on too, because it's so necessary. All right, my friends, until next time, I'll be back tomorrow to talk about the Monday morning vibe check stuff. And I'll be sharing about my novel, the novel I just released this year that's like really, really, really vulnerable and important to me. So, more on that tomorrow. Until next time, bye for now.